Hey y'all.
Hi.
Hi.
I am still in the Midwest, so it is kind of late for me, but late is in 7 o'clock. But I still feel loopy. No ring light. I'm just out here with this shady light behind me. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're
Mhm.
just living a life. How y'all doing?
I'm still trying to recover from the election.
Yes.
Oakland's about to have a horrible mayor and
Yes.
I deal with that.
Whew.
Um and I actually didn't tell y'all, but I was gonna run for office if Kaplan won. And
Mm.
that's not gonna happen. I'm kind of glad.
Well, first of all, it would have been like a Sunday. She's like, "We're on hiatus, bitches, because we're running a campaign." Y'all can have Sunny and Nina. We're out of here. Friends of Tanya.
Right.
I'm so appreciative of that. I'm the only reason why I was glad is because I really want to focus on my health and
Mm.
that would have gotten in the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Campaigns are
But
brutal.
yeah, they are. And so I want to make sure I'm in top health condition for the eventuality. Since so many people were excited, it doesn't mean that it's off the table. Just right now, it's off the table.
Well, we're
So,
ready anytime. I'm ready. Okay.
thank you. Appreciate that. But
Um,
anyway, just trying to recover from the election. I did a lot of volunteering, and so I did a lot of relaxing this weekend. Of course, went to see Wakanda Forever,
Me too.
and I binge watched The Empress on Netflix.
Mm.
And I wasn't going to, but they pulled me in with the whole idea of this, king or emperor deciding not to marry who he was betrothed to, but to go after the little sister who's wild. So I was like, ooh. So, so I was intrigued. And so I binge watched that all weekend and finished Andor. Oh my God. Andor is like one of the best Star Wars treatments ever. So if you guys haven't watched that, do. Um, and Star Wars, A Jedi Story, the cartoons. I watched that.
I love how you're a Disney Plus commercial right now. We
I
don't have any
am.
ads, friends, but I do have Andor on my watch list. I
Right.
saw Wakanda Forever. I went on Friday because I
Me
didn't
too.
have to work. And so I
Right.
went to a matinee. It was me, my mom, and my sister. It was just like us and maybe, it might have been a total of 10 people in the theater,
Oh,
maybe.
because
But
all of Oakland went out on Thursday. It was just crazy. Not all of
I
Oakland, but
no, thank you.
the who's who of Black Oakland went on Thursday night.
I was supposed to be there, but I'm still in the Midwest, so couldn't go. But was like actually happy I didn't go because I needed to like grieve and cry in peace. I cried throughout the whole movie. My mom was looking at me like, "What was wrong with you?" Like
I
I
brought
was deeply
Kleenex.
affected. I was deeply, deeply affected. I mean, it's also because like if you know me, you know I like loved Chadwick Boseman. I don't think I've ever taken a celebrity death that seriously. So yeah, but it was beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, Sandra, I know you haven't seen it, so spoiler free over here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, go see it. And Andor is on my watch list.
Oh yeah.
I finished The Crown.
I did as
Oh,
well.
I need to watch that.
Didn't love it.
Oh. Hmm.
Not enough royal slander for me. I watched The Crown for royal slander.
But that's the thing, is that the creator of the crown doesn't actually want to slander the royals.
Yeah, that's true. But
And then
like, I feel like previous seasons were definitely way more slander. And Charles wasn't ugly. And so, like, I couldn't suspend my imagination. I watch soap operas. People come back from the dead. People do all kind of things, but I cannot imagine a not ugly Charles.
It was so distracting. Like, what was the guy's name that played Josh O'Connor played
Mhm.
him the last two seasons? And I remember being like, he's too handsome to play Charles. But then
Yes.
you have Dominic West, who was like actually like kind of fine for an old English man.
Yes.
like not you having someone who's like kind of fine playing Charles and who's like charismatic and like sexy. Get out of
Right.
here. It was
No.
wrong.
It was rough. I couldn't even. And then like old girl from like Harry Potter being the queen. I was like, listen, Dolores. It was too. I couldn't. Like, no, 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 no. It
Didn't
was.
Judi Dench like write some sort of letter to Netflix? Was
She
like, we don't
did.
appreciate you slandering the queen or something. I'm
And
like,
it was so unnecessary. It was clear that it was written before anybody had seen the series. Completely unnecessary. It was so kind to the royals. As a matter of fact, it was like kind of like wrong to Diana.
oh, I didn't.
So anyway, no spoilers for that. We'll let you finish it.
Okay.
And we'll get to GH if there's no other TV that doesn't pay us that we're talking about. I
I,
love
I'm just drinking wine. We'll see what happens.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I have dropped several things before I started drinking the wine. Dropped things, tripped over things, just generally been a mess. My wine didn't come the first order that I made, so I had to make another order. And then it wasn't the right wine. And then I kept dropping shit. But I was like, God damn it. I ordered wine for Sunday shift. And in the words of the great philosopher, D.W. the Aardvark,
Yes.
this sign can't stop me. I can't read.
And in the words of the great philosopher Beyonce, don't you drop that alcohol. So I definitely had bubbly earlier. Um, and I haven't really eaten. So now I'm drinking water. We'll see what happens. This
Oh,
is
is that
a it is please don't slander me this
yeah.
way.
I'm not drinking anything because my lip gloss is popping right now and I don't want it to mess up.
Yep.
But
They're all legitimate choices. Yes.
Yep. All
uh,
right. Let's get into this recap. I'm actually really excited to talk about this week with y'all. I'm ready. As you know who I'm gonna slander. Okay. Ready for the recap?
Yep.
All right. We start the week with Sunny and Nina finding Willow, Michael, Wiley, and TJ in the park. The confrontation goes just as you expect it to go. After they separate, TJ takes Willow to the hospital for a doctor's appointment, where Michael waits for the nanny, and Nina confides in Sunny that she thinks Willow and TJ are having an affair. Hashtag TJ. Moments after they decided to not tell Michael, they end up telling him anyway. Michael sees TJ and Willow in an embrace, and Willow finally tells Michael that she has leukemia, which we all now know it's stage 4. Thanks. Elizabeth and Terry return from Monterey, and Liz tells Finn that she pushed Reiko down the stairs, which which led to her being hospitalized and catching Blackwoods. Whew. Finn runs to his office and cries, and Liz goes to talk to Nicholas. Because Nicholas is a dum dum, Esme has escaped from her castle prison and runs into Liz on the docks. Esme knocks Liz out after Liz had called the police, and Nicholas, fresh off of an attack on him by the hooker, grabs Esme and brings her back to Windermere, leaving Liz on the docks. What a friend. Hashtag Niz.
right.
Sam tells Britt that the necklace Peter left her is worth about $35 million, and it's part of the Ice Princess, and that its last known owner was Leopold Tau. While Cody and Mac wait for the results of their paternity test, Britt shares that information with him. Britt, anyway, prompting him to lie about the paternity results. Mac is the father, Stable Baby is the scammer. Speaking of Britt, she starts showing Huntington's symptoms and she confides in Austin about the disease. Sunny and Valentine work to break Anna out of custody because Pittenville will be too dangerous for her and because she's being framed. Sunny sends Dex But a second guard brings Heather Weber with him. When the second guard realizes what is happening, he shoots Dex and causes an accident. Heather escapes, but is quickly caught after getting her BLT from Cam at Kelly's. And Anna runs to a safe house with Valentine. After some snuggling and plotting, Anna insists that Valentine leave her to be with Charlotte. They give each other a heartbreaking goodbye, and Valentine gives Anna his Cassadine ring until they meet again. Dex stumbles injured to Michael's house, where of course Joss is there. She secretly cares for him and hides him in her dorm room. We got a dorm set, y'all.
Mhm.
Laura's home, Laura's home, and getting things together. She's asking Robert, Robert, what's going on with Holly? Obviously, this is weird. She's letting Victor know that she got Charlotte, and she's visiting Spencer in Pentonville. While she's there, she has a good conversation with Cyrus, who warns her that Olivia Jerome is out for Anna if Anna gets caught. Finally, a visit with Cam leads Trina to visit Spencer at Pentonville, and we end the week with a classic Sprina stare down. That's our week. How did y'all feel about it? And also, your favorite moment.
Friday was so good.
Yeah.
Friday left me thinking that the rest of the week was better than it was.
Okay.
I mean, like, obviously, there was one particular storyline that was just bringing everyone along the ride on the ride with them, but I thought Friday was like, oh, this was like a Friday episode. I don't know if it felt quite sweeping, but it was the sweepiest thing we've seen all November. And obviously my favorite moment could have been any of Vanna on the run. Truly. So good. I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick Valentine impersonating Finn.
I loved it.
Because it was like, well, I love that he was impersonating Finn, and Anna was just like, yeah, that's my actual bae. I loved he looked really hot with those glasses.
Did he?
I was a little taken aback, to be honest. I was like, let me go back and watch that scene again. Okay, JPS, let's see those glasses more often. So his Finn costume was obviously much better than the real thing, if you know what I mean. So I loved that. I love that so much of Vanna's escape plan involves making out. Like,
Yes.
what is an escape plan to go on the run without copious amounts of making out every time you see each other? Even though you just saw each other. I love it. I loved it. And yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to talk a lot about Vanna on the Run, but that was my standout of the many beautiful on the run moments.
Yeah, I mean, the week was the week. I actually forgot it was sweeps until you just said that. I looked at the date like, oh, we're 13 days into sweeps. Yikes. So that's one thing. I will say that my favorite moment of the week was Spencer tucking his hair behind his ear when he saw Trina. I melted. Oh, Spencer. Because the thing about Spencer is that sometimes he gets a little insufferable when he's not around Trina and Laura.
Mhm.
We haven't really been able to see him. He's been in Pentonville. It's been like hard for me because I'm like, I don't want to see him in Pentonville, but I do want to see him. Um, but that ear tuck, it was just like the pure innocence of like being in young love. It was just like, I don't know. It really got me. And it's like like they are so good. The stare down was so good. These two actors are able to like express so much in just looks with each other. Um, but that like, let me make sure like this is a mess. I'm a mess. This situation's a mess. But at
Mhm.
least let me get my hair together for Bay. It was it was everything I needed it to be. It was so Spencer Cassadine. I couldn't take it. I loved it, and I cannot wait to see the scene for them on Monday.
It's like literally this is the only thing I can get together.
It's like, let me
I can't shave my face. I can't
Right.
get clothes that fit. But what I can do is tuck my hair behind my ear. I also loved it's like very much in line with the it doesn't matter the context. They could be in the most dire situation. They could be in front of his then girlfriend, she who shall not be named. And he will still Trina's here. Let me prepare myself. I love it.
It was also that, and then I'll let you go, Tanya. It's also that like part of what has been so hard about seeing him in jail is how broken down he's looked. And I actually don't like that or need that. I watch my soaps for like fantastical like plots and storylines and dynamic characters. I actually don't want to see one of my favorite characters like broken down like this. Um it's not, I don't feel like it's necessary to the story. We've actually already seen him broken down. We've actually already seen him suffer in a way that was like, okay, I get it. So when he was like when Joss and Cam went to go visit him, he was so like in his like physically in his body. When Laura saw him, but when he saw Trina, it was like this relief almost, like a weight off of his shoulder while he was like trying to fix himself. It was just, I mean, they're so good. I could go on forever about that very short exchange. It was like 10 seconds. I can go on forever. I will stop. Go ahead, Tanya. Tell us what your favorite moments were. Tell us what you felt, and tell us our performer of the week.
There's a lot about this week that I actually liked. I think, but I guess my favorite moment outside of the performances was TJ telling Sunny that Nina is problematic and is destroying his relationship. I with his family and don't trust her, all that, that those weren't the words he said, but basically those were the sentiments that he put off. And then Sunny, I was upset that I didn't get to see Sunny's reaction. I felt like he would have taken that seriously because I think he keeps saying that he trusts TJ and he's known TJ all his life. To have TJ say that to him directly and not be afraid of retribution is huge. And so that was my favorite moment. And obviously, it just shows TJ as like, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to be afraid to tell you to your face that Nina's a bitch. I'm going to tell you she's horrible and she's doing this on purpose. And the fact that you think that I would have an affair, you know, that was a lot. So that was like one of my favorite moments. But
Yeah.
I loved if you guys want to comment on it, feel free before I go on.
I do want to say, I think that was like almost a turning point. I've been very confused about what the writers are doing with Sona. Um, and they've like lived in this like world where it's like, how dare you think that we're mean people? How dare you think we're bad people? And so much has been from their point of view. It's been like Carly's world of people against Sona. And so I think it's like hard to get a handle on what like the writers are trying to convey with them as a couple. So TJ actually stepping in really did feel like a turning point of it's actually not just Carly's people who have an issue with you. Like we're allowing like there to be some fallout and some point of view from other people because I'll go a little bit more into this about when I talk about what's not working, but yeah, like they are just like they just do things and there's no fallout, and they don't allow people to react. So people just act like it's normal that they're together, like, and it's normal that she kept you away from your family and they are together, and now she's around your kids and like all of these things. Like, there's no balance of anybody being like, "Yo, this is kind of wild," like, and it's not that that means that they're not together. It means that people should be able to react to them being together. And so TJ having that reaction, I feel like really is a turning point in the way they've been telling that story.
I agree. And the fact that Sunny was so ready to believe Nina, and not all like at first he was like, okay, we shouldn't tell Michael anything. But as soon as Michael comes up and acts like a spoiled brat that he is, that's fine. But Sunny, being the parent, still wanting to be like, well, yeah, I saw it too. You didn't see anything. You saw them together standing next to one another, but that was it. So for you to imply that they're having an affair really shows again, which proves again how horrible of a parent you are to this man. So yeah, but I thought that was a really great moment. But I loved Vanna. I loved the story around Laura coming in and just handling business all week. Loved Allie Mills. Her performance, like those were some of those were highlights for me. So I would give, it was hard for me just to pick one. So I'm going to pick all of these people. I'm going to pick Finola Hughes and James Packer Stewart for their work as Vanna this week on the run. Definitely giving it up to Jeannie Francis, seeing through Holly, rescuing Charlotte, going and seeing her grandson, her baby boy, Spencer, meeting up with Cyrus and having that conversation in the jail. I mean, she came in swinging and came back from vacation swinging, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of her handling business. Give it up to William Lipton and Allie Mills. First of all, Allie Mills had a great guest star stint. I'm not sure if it's continuing, but I mean, shout out to her as a guest star this past 2 weeks. I mean, just I loved her moods. I mean, flirting inappropriately, threatening. I mean, I really felt like she was going to stab Cameron any minute. I really felt like she was going to do that. And just being part of the Anna escapade, accidentally. I loved all the ways that she was interacting with people. I mean, she even made Finn seem more interesting, the way he was trying to react to her. I mean, it was great. So I love that. And I'm glad. Like, it actually shocked me in some of the ways, but maybe that's a shout out to her and her ability, because I was like, wait a minute, why is Wonder Year's mom saying that, mean sex is, scowls mean that sex is going to be hot? I was like, what? Wait a minute, Wonder Years mom, what you talking about? So I was like, that was great though, but I loved it. And then to William Lipton, being able to act with her and hold a strong acting performance up against her was great and awesome. So yeah, all those 6 people. Jeff Kober, of course, all the time.
Like most of the cast, it was good.
It was great.
The acting was on point this week. It was really, I could see why it was hard to choose.
I will say
Allie
something.
Mills.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Huge shoes to fill.
Iconic
Huge.
shoes to fill. I mean,
so good.
Not only like is, going up against Robin, what's her last name again?
Mattson.
Robin Mattson's portrayal of Heather Weber, but Robin Mattson has played many iconic crazy characters like Janet on All My Children. And so it was kind of like, oh, it's the Wonder Years mom, like, gonna play Heather Weber. But like, I felt like I was just immediately like, yeah, I buy it. And to like a recast like that, and her interview in Soap Opera Digest was so good. She was like so gracious, and she talked so much about the amount of research she did.
Yeah.
Like, she was just in there watching all of Heather's storyline, like from the beginning. and also was just so generous in complimenting all the people that she got to work with. And she'll be on longer because there are people that she named working with that we haven't seen her with yet. But she, like, I loved everyone this week, but as like considering the shoes she was filling, I was just like, hats off, girl.
She killed it. I loved every minute. Her scenes with Anna, like when she was like, I've just decided I'm gonna like basically behave myself, and it like things are just better for me.
Yeah.
Like Finola, her and Finola's back and forth. I cracked up the entire time. It was so good. It was just like a masterclass of comedy and like reactions with each other. And it's really easy to play a character like Heather as like a caricature.
Right.
Like for a second I was like, damn, is Cam in danger? And I was like, oh yeah, of course Cam's not in danger. Cam loved Franco and she loves Franco, she would never hurt him. But I'm like, bro, why you give her that knife?
Right.
Cameron. I have been calling you caring and compassionate Cameron, and you're going back to some sweet, simple Cam behavior, sir.
He's had some sweet, simple behavior this week. And I say that in the kindest way possible. I did love, though, like, as far as writing is concerned, they did a great job writing Heather. Where else would she go but Kelly's? She made that beeline for her BLT, and I needed that. I needed that.
It was very important. I would also say, shockingly, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. I will also say I think that Michael and Willow did great this week.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of Millow as a couple for a lot of reasons, but like Chad and like the compassion he played and like the way they wrote that, I thought it was really great because I didn't know where they were gonna go with it, with him like blaming her or being mad, or and I still have feelings about the way the storyline is going, but their portrayals, like Katie looked really like scared and just like everything, all the beats played out really, really well for them. And I thought they did a really great job. And we don't get a chance to see them act in that way across their storyline. So they really pulled it out and did a really great job.
Yeah, the writing for Willow is like so silly. And it has been for a long time, but this storyline is very like, huh? But I will say that Katie like commits, and she's done like a really great job making it feel emotionally grounded, even if it's not written that way.
Yeah. And along with that, I enjoyed just the Nina slander. I loved it. She was like,
I mean,
what can you do for me? You can drop that.
if somebody with stage 4 leukemia tells you to drop dead, they mean it.
You
And I
better
loved it.
leave this woman alone. My God.
Let's get into what's working because I have so much to say about Sona that's
Right.
not in there what's working.
And I can't wait. I cannot wait. Well, yeah, let's wait and do what's working. But yeah.
Andrew, what's working?
Y'all always thirsting to get to the what's not working. Like that, it's like the whole first half of the show is you being like, oh, hold on.
Right, we'll talk about it later. And I just like, and then when I get to my part with what's working, I'm like, I'm done. Let's go to what's not working.
Like clockwork. Obviously, Vanna on the Run is what worked the most this week. And any week that it's on, quite honestly. I love their reunion at the PCPD because it's like you get a Laura and then you get a Vanna reunion all at the same time. And like Laura being there and facilitating the Vanna reunion, we have come a long way, which could be another way to think about like Valentine this week.
Yeah.
Like he's come a long way. He's being reunited with Anna via Laura, who like saved his fucking life. What? Do you remember how many times Laura was like, I'm gonna systematically dismantle and destroy you until there's nothing left? And here
Yes.
she is, not only saving his life, but hooking him up with Bay.
Right.
I love it. I love it for
Lulu is gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
that's the reason I would want Lulu to wake up. And then she can go back to sleep.
And then she can go back to sleep.
Obviously, like him like collaborating with Finn and Sunny, like love really triumphs.
Right.
Like love is love is love or something.
That or something.
I love I love to say that and use it the wrong way. And and of course we got Vanna snuggling in their little on the run cabin, and Valentine like doing the thing. Like Anna's like, I got this, which I agree she has this, and don't make us wait for more Vanna on the run. So I hope that there's another reason soon for them to reunite. Obviously, Valentine's about to get, questioned by this shady ass new cop person. I don't remember what kind of cop he is, but who cares? Cop is a cop is a cop.
I think the attorney general.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Something.
Anyway, maybe Anna will need to save him. Maybe Laura will save him again. Who knows? And I love that when they were leaving, or when Valentine was leaving and he was like, Je t'aime. He did not get it. He got an abiento in return, which felt very Vanna.
Will you translate for us what that means?
Oh, je t'aime means I love you. And abiento means see you later.
See you later, yeah.
It's like literally translates to at a later time. So it's a very like friendly, like chummy way to say goodbye to someone. And I loved it. I was like, okay.
Basically,
I see Valentine sliding in there with the je t'aime, but you got an abiento.
Yeah, basically her not saying I love you again.
Even though she got that cast-iron ring, though.
Yeah,
That's her babe. She love him. But
she loves
can't
him
say
via
it.
action. She's not saying it, and that's the beauty of it.
She took the cast-iron ring, and she was wearing it, and she was like crying, saying goodbye to him. I loved it. It was perfect.
I'm like, that's your man, okay? You love him.
Love him.
Like, I mean, all last week she's like go and get Valentine. Valentine's in trouble. Here she is about to go to jail. Make sure Valentine's okay. That was her first and foremost thought. So yeah.
And of course, the other thing that really worked for me was Laura's return. I love the Laura and Victor scenes. Just that little, I'm going to play nice in the most thinly veiled way possible, but really I want you to fucking die is the undercurrent. And I loved it. And she was like, and I don't just want you to die, but at my hands. And we know Laura will kill a bitch. All right. We already know.
Absolutely will kill a bitch, okay?
Absolutely.
And she got Kevin there, so she ain't going catatonic again. She'll be fine.
Exactly. Kevin will not let that happen. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Kevin is doing his duty and babysitting Charlotte. As he belongs at home. And he knows it. Until he's ready to be called and into his priest costume, which we didn't get to talk about, but I was like, okay, I see a little, okay, all right. I don't want to know, or do I want to know what happened to those costumes when they got home?
When you call my name, it's like a little prayer.
Look at you getting us flagged.
But in the spoken word version.
Right.
I loved the Laura and Spencer scenes so much. Just the whole time, I just kept on being like, my baby's grandma's here. And it was so nice to see both him being a little bit of a smartass, but mostly being very tender, and Laura being there for him. And she knew it wasn't it wasn't a tough love moment. Like, she didn't need to lecture him. He's getting the lesson. And even though I hated his plan to save Trina, I did appreciate that Laura gave him positive reinforcement for putting Trina and her freedom ahead of his. And I loved when she asked, do you need anything? And he said, you came to visit me. What else could I need? He's really growing. He's really growing, y'all. And his grandmother's back to make sure that keeps happening. And now I just can't wait until Laura finds out about Esme and Nicholas. She needs to go visit her favorite daughter-in-law, because Ava's not going to be demure. I want that. I need that scene.
It feels like she's gonna put it together soon, because like Nicholas was like, I cheated. Spencer's like, I'm not gonna tell you what happened. It feels like it's gonna happen soon. I will also say during the Laura Spencer scene, I was like into it. I was like forgot I was watching TV. Like, let's make sure we put some money on Spencer's books. What does he need? Like, what can I get him?
It's like, what do you need? What do you need? Yeah, I think he also said, he mentioned Esme as part of the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
If she hasn't already put it together, it's got to be this week. And then also, I can't move on without talking about Laura and Cyrus, because from here on out, I am calling her Mayor Laura. Sit your ass down, Collins. Sit down. I said, sit down. I was like, she said, sit down. Sir, sit your ass down. It was so good. It was so good. I love how he immediately just went off. I've been trying to save him. Those two.
He was yelling back at him too, because before she was like, she would flinch when he would yell, but this time she was like, I'm yelling at you too because you're a bastard or something like that. It was great. I loved it.
It was like a real ass like sibling
fight. Yeah.
Fight / we're still kind of mortal enemies / we're family.
Right.
And I really want a spinoff. This is a little bit of a side. I want a spinoff or like a standalone episode that's just Spencer and his uncles.
All of them.
Right.
All of them. All of them. Great.
Just like Sonny coming to pick him up from Victor, Cyrus calling him from prison. Like, let's just Martin showing up. Like, what the hell is going on?
In court. Just doing all of it.
It would be so good. Just Spencer being like, all of them are useful in their own way. You little shit, but also you're not wrong.
A mess. I mean, I echo everything that you have to say. I'm not going to talk too long about what's working because you really went into it. I will say that so Friday was the Vanna goodbye. So I was already very tenderhearted after seeing Wakanda Forever. I sobbed. I was like, oh my God, they're saying goodbye. It was a moment. I was emotionally impacted because it was just like Anna holds her feelings so close. And so when she loves so hard. And it was so funny throughout the week because Valentine was like taking care of her. Like Dex gets her. Valentine was like, listen, Dexter will be fine. I don't know. We're not doing this. And then she's like, but Heather, we are leaving with you and me. I don't know what's going on with Heather. Um, so like kind of trying to talk himself into staying with her and her having to just be like, you gotta go. I don't know, like the emotion, like she's crying. I don't know about you, but if Anna Devane is crying, I'm crying. Okay? That's what's happening. And so to see her so emotionally impacted, and like you said, Sandra, like they've just come such a long way from like being tied up with Alex in an Instapot to today saying a tearful goodbye. Like I still think about Alex rent free. It lives in my head with Alex in the Instapot, actually. Um, that goodbye was just like so sweet. And to your point of her not being able to say I love you back, it felt like her saying, I don't know, it just felt like that was a barrier she wasn't ready to cross yet. Like, we're actually about to be apart. I'm not gonna send you off with an I love you because if I send you off with an I love you, that feels more final. And so I don't want to say I love you until we're actually reconnected. Ugh, the spy mans of it all, they're so good. Um, yeah, so that's what I think is working. Vanna always. And then I think the young adults are working as always. They are just like really putting it in. I will talk a little bit more about this, but I like the complicated emotions of what Joss is playing out. This like idea of being like 19 and dating your best friend and loving him, but not being in love with him. I think we have not seen Eden have to play that kind of nuance before because everything has been so big for her. Um, and for the character of Joss as she's played her. So it's like I'm grieving, I'm this, I'm sad, I'm like loving my best friend tree. Like all the emotions have been so big. So to see her grapple with emotions is not something that we've had to see from her as an actress. And I just think that she's doing a really great job of doing that. And I've really enjoyed watching that play out. What about you, Tanya? What's working for you?
All of those things are working for me. And so yeah, double down on y'all's statements on that. Um on a small way, what's working for me is the fact that Britt um confided in Austin. Mainly because Austin has something else to do than this whatever sketchy mystery he's got going on with his family. Because I mean, I understand it now that they're trying to have him, treat folks that they, beat up and kill or almost kill. And so it's not so they don't get arrested. But I'm just like, it's not exciting. So the fact that Britt now in Austin knows about her Huntington's and is now, fashioned himself as her doctor. I like that. I like them when they interact together. I like them as a couple, even if they're not a couple. I want them to be a couple. And I'm so glad that she didn't tell Cody, who never works ever. So I'm glad that he's not in that space because she needs someone that's actually real and serious and can actually help her through, all the things that she's going through and trying to live with this disease. So I am glad that she did that. And hopefully we can focus on those two together as they grapple that situation. But I have a feeling they're gonna try to go in on this ice princess necklace thing, and I'm just like, yeah, so sliding into what doesn't work, Cody. Dude, I mean, obviously he doesn't know how awesome Mac is, but that is hella scandalous that he did. And I'm just like, it's another reason why I don't like you ever. I mean, he's a horrible person. And the fact that he has Felicia shedding tears over what could have been, I'm so mad. Like, there's nothing that could have been. That man is horrible. Ugh. Ugh. Oh,
Like
okay.
Felicia, girl, we know that got cussed out by Maxie at Georgie's funeral, and you feel away about the fact that you weren't there for your kids and you dropped them off with Mac. That does not mean that you wish stable baby on him.
No.
Yikes.
That's not the
Yeah,
solution.
Couldn't possibly be. Get him a puppy.
yeah. Finn, another thing that doesn't work for me, Finn going off and crying over something that was clearly an accident, sir. No, I don't like you. I don't like Adam being there.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh,
why are you trying to make him a thing? That needs to stop. He's
I
not a
was like,
thing.
who's Adam? Ah,
Oh, yeah.
gotcha.
I
Uh,
verbatim said, "Not this motherfucker again. Go away.
well, I mean, he has no purpose. They could have
Leave
put
her alone.
anybody.
Leave her alone. Go
Anybody.
get a job." To quote the
Right.
philosopher.
Like,
Did
oh, do I need
Clubhouse.
to report bed bugs? What's a bed bug? Dude, go
You
away.
did not just ask her to go look at your bed for bed bugs. Fuck off.
Horrible. And I'm gonna let y'all go on this, but yeah, Sona. Work. Go take it away, Tracy. I want to hear what you have to say.
It was a yikes.
It was a big yikes. I mean, so I'm gonna talk about a couple of things and would just love for y'all to like interrupt me and get in here because I have two big things. So one, I think that it's not, I mean, it is Sona, but I think that it is because the writers just like want to let things happen and then want people to like forget them, let them go and have no stakes or consequences for them. And so like part of what makes soaps great is like the fallout and the reaction when big things happen. So I don't know if you, I mean, I know you remember when Vanna made out for New Year's. And we were all like, what's going to happen? What's Felicia going to say? What's this person going to say? And part of like the reason that Vanna is so entertaining, aside from like, you know, the magic that is JPS and Fanola, is that like the people around them get to have these reactions. And we get to see how their relationship grows from like a Dante to like a Laura to like Robert, like everybody like being a part of this. And so what is hard to watch with Sona is that they're like in the middle of their villain era, and then they're like, why don't people like us? And it's like, because y'all are doing stupid shit. I don't think that like I enjoy the genre of soaps where people can do some wild shit one day and then we can kind of forgive it another day. Like I am like okay with that when you have like the ebb and flow of like consequences, actions. But they act like people are wrong for their reactions to them, and I feel gaslit. I had to go back to watch the scene with them and Wiley in the park because I was like, oh, were they just like randomly walking past and like, was this really innocent? And I like had to watch it again and I was like, no, like y'all went up to them and confused that baby. And then Sunny's like, you're so good for walking away because you're not supposed to be there. It's just, you know, like, or Sunny being like Michael, you're not gonna talk bad to her again. What you gonna do? You gonna beat him up because he's talking bad about Nina? Like, what's about to happen? It's just like it's y'all are in the midst of doing crazy things, and then mad at people because they don't like you. So like Nina started off the week. I already was annoyed with her, the fact that she started off the week talking to him about Jocelyn, like, oh well, she's not really your stepdaughter. I'm gonna stop you right there. You actually don't get to like name how people are in relationship with each other since you're trying to pick up everybody's babies every time you get a chance. You not Avery's auntie either, but ain't nobody stopping you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like so you already also and then like this like whole like noble sacrifice of I'll step away if you don't want me to be here. You just wanted like you're a grown woman, but you wanted the validation of Sunny being like, no, 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 no. I want you to stay around. You're acting younger than the young adult said. That like people have a right to react to you. So like even if you go back, because it's I don't have like a Carly versus Nita thing. I can like or dislike both of them. But like you bought Carly's hotel off from under her, which was like soapy. Cool, do it. Great. But now you wonder why her family don't mess with you? Like a week later, you don't understand why Olivia doesn't want to work with you? Like it's just be a villain or do villainous things. Because that's the thing. Like Ava called her out. Ava was like, "Yeah, you trying to start a pot." And Ava's like, "I'm a pot
Enjoy.
stirrer, so
Yeah.
give me
She's
a
like,
spoon, sis."
like you know you enjoyed what you did. You wanted to do this. And yeah, Ava called her out on it.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, let me go," in the midst of like not even knowing that the affair isn't happening because nothing happened to make Nina think that the affair isn't happening. But you like went and like tracked down Willow to say that you were sorry. Why are you sorry? And how are Willow if how is you helping to expose an affair gonna help Wiley? Because she's like, well, I'm just worried about Wiley. How would your behavior help Wiley?
Right. Like you were concerned about Wiley when you had an affair with his grandfather and broke up that marriage, but you're concerned about Willow.
You weren't concerned about Wiley when Jax blackmailed Michael to let you see him. And then you were whispering in Wiley's ear how you were keeping Sonny in Nixon Falls. You weren't concerned. You weren't concerned about Wiley when you straight up just told him that Willow wasn't his mama. Like like the math is not mathing on this relationship. And Sonny, I've never seen him look so stupid. He
I do
looked
love that about it.
what you do. He looks ridiculous. Like when TJ was talking to him, he was like, well, what happened? Something happened. TJ was like, TJ was a mix of like perplexed and hurt. Like, what are you saying? It just y'all like the writers have to stop just like letting things happen to happen and then thinking like they can just move on to the next thing. And the same thing happened, I think, with Millow, right? Where they were like, let's just do some like really soapy thing, not take into consideration the fallout, and then just move to something else and expect the audience to move with us. So like I am not even a person who cares about Willow cheating on Chase. I feel like that was like a ridiculous situation, and that doesn't make her like a cheater. But or like that's like a character trait she has, right? She didn't want to be with him. She was in love with Michael. It wasn't believable because her and Michael actually aren't good together.
And I mean, Chase.
I mean, yeah, like and so I have something to say about Millow. I'm gonna pause there for any other Sona things from y'all.
I mean,
Like this, what's happening here? The absurdity of it all. I just kept yelling, "Sir!" I mean, with Nina, it's like, yeah, this is like the same old week in, week out. It didn't feel especially remarkable, her behavior. It just was like, oh yeah, this is what she's been doing. But with Sunny, I was like, damn. Like, you're just really out here telling Michael that you saw TJ and Willow hugging in the park. This is the first you've ever heard of such a thing. And you have jumped all the way from point A to point Omega. Like, what is happening here? I mean, I'm not surprised, but it was just like, I just kept yelling, sir, over and
And
over.
then when he ignored the call from Valentine about Anna to play Real Housewives of Port Charles with Nina in the park, Mike Reeves, answer the phone.
I was convinced it was gonna get fucked up because of this.
yeah, that would have been on site if he had messed up Anna's escape for all that.
Because he was playing goss person in the park with his girlfriend.
I saw Willow and TJ hugging.
What do you have to say about that,
They're all
Michael?
emotional and their eyes are watered and teary-eyed and just something's going on.
And like in that, like no emotional intelligence for anyone to connect. Oh, Willow is like passed out before. I've seen her look sick before. And now she's crying in a corner with TJ,
Or
who's a doctor.
Willow's pregnant and her hormones are hella raging because that's all that they know, right? So that could have been it.
Yeah, they do think like pregnant ass Willow is having an affair. Like so he's like,
Well,
TJ, I don't know what you're into.
Right. Into pregnant women.
It was just ugh. I ugh. But so the other thing I'll say about Millow is that part of the like I mean, there's a lot of problems with them. And I mean they have fans, they have their fans. I'm not one of their fans ever, obviously. Um, but it's hard for me because they're just not good with each other. Like even as actors, there's some kind of clash because they like I feel like Chad, we've seen him be good with Sophia and like other like him and Katie just don't have it. And like when he was comforting her, it was like, oh, I can see them in a friendship. They just don't look romantic, which is why that like scene where he was comforting her and being nice to her worked because you weren't trying to see them like get it on top of Wiley's toys. And then you have Willow who like lights up in scenes with Taj. Literally, Katie lights up in scenes with Taj. We saw her light up when she was with Josh as Chase. So to have her be in this like relationship, I understand why they have it there because they wanted to tell like this story about her being quartermain. But you needed to pivot when it was clear that these two actors didn't work together. Because even the affair, I think that I would have been more forgiving about it if I like bought that these are two people who just like were in love and couldn't like stay away from each other. But that's not what happened. Yikes. Um, and then my last thing, look, I have all these things, and it's funny because I actually really did enjoy the week, and I actually think the show is kind of working.
Mhm.
Um, it's not sweepy. This is like the way it's moving along is like the way I would expect it to move along in like a September or something where you're not expecting a sweeps. But I'm not bored. There's been something that
Right.
has like kept my attention every day. Um, but I do want to. I was like, I have taken a big step back from like interacting about the show on social media. Um, I do like Fanola Fridays, which our friend Jen does, that are like really all about Anna and Fanola. And then our friends who do PC Rewind do a speculation spaces on Twitter on Thursdays, and a lot of times I'll try to go to those. But other than that, I don't really interact on the timeline. Um, but I do want to like talk about this whole idea around like free cam and like the way people talk about like the story with like Joss and Cameron. And I specifically was thinking about it because like last night I was watching 500 Days of Summer. Have y'all seen this movie?
mhm.
No.
It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel, and like it's told like it starts with the opening is like this is not a love story. This is about two people, whatever, and so it's told through this perspective of this man, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is like falls for Zoe Deschanel's character. Zoe's character, like very specifically, was like, "Don't fall in love with me." Like I ain't trying to be here, like whatever, and it's told specifically through like Josh's character's Joseph's character's perspective. And there's like all of these writings because it came out like 15 years ago, and there's all this writing now that's like, yeah, the audience hated the woman character because they felt like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was like owed her affection. Like at the time, the whole movie was a commentary on like the nice guy and how like the nice guy is not owed your affection, but everybody, you know, did what we do as an audience and as a society and thinks that women owe men. And so I think that there's this really interesting thing that's conversation. And it's not the same because Joss and Cam are obviously together, but there's this whole idea that Joss can't even be conflicted. Like she hasn't cheated on Cam, right? Like, um, and she had, but there's a way that the audience has already like turned on her because Cam is the nice guy. And the way the writers are writing him is like, look how nice he is. Look how much he loves her. Look at all of the things that he has to go through. And I'm like watching it happen. And I was like, just kind of like laughing at the parallel of like a audience that like wanted um Cam to like cheat on Joss with Esme before the cabin trip. I was one of those people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or the audience that is like very clearly forgiven Spencer for all that he has done to Trina, right? Like, that is now like Joss is awful and free Cameron from this awful woman. It's just like it was like an interesting, I don't know, it was like really, really interesting. And I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. Like people can like what they like and feel how they feel, but I do think it's like an interesting um way that like women characters are seen by the audience. Even with like a character like Nina, the way people talk about her is a lot of ways through Sunny. So like we just don't like Nina. And like I don't think any of us particularly like Sunny either. But the way that like the most of the vitriol that Nina gets is about the ways that people feel Sunny has changed to be with her. Not through most of her behavior, but because of Sunny's behavior. And so like and so anyway, I just specifically was like thinking a lot about how audiences um treat women characters when they feel like they owe a man affection. And I don't think Cameron is owed Joss's affections because he's a nice guy.
I mean, if we look at reality, right? Individuals go through relationships. And some of them don't end just because one cheated on somebody. Sometimes they just end because, you know, the love is lost, it's gone, whatever. That's a possibility. It doesn't have to be that just because Cameron is a great guy that he has to be with Joss. Maybe Joss isn't the right woman for him.
It's
Maybe,
clear.
right? I mean, but I'm just saying, it's okay to entertain that possibility. Because I mean, it's rare that someone meets someone and is with them for the rest of their life. I mean, it's so rare that it's celebrated. Like when we hear people have been married for 50 years, that's like, oh, wow, that's great. But that's not how, I mean, even nowadays, that's rare that that happens. And so for people to be shocked, like, oh my God, why aren't Joss and Cameron working? Y'all aren't even steeped in reality. We know it's a soap opera, but let them live. Let Joss and Cameron have multiple relationships. If Joss is not feeling Cameron anymore, that's fine. She can go off of, little, what's his name? Dex. That's fine. But don't be
Mhm.
like maligning her as a person because she's not in love with Cameron anymore. That's ridiculous and unfair.
I mean, you know how I feel about chaos. That shit was built to collapse from the beginning. So nobody is surprised that chaos, like they were not created as a couple to last. They needed something to do with both these characters. They needed to set up drama for Sprina and like Esme. Um and everyone's schedule was really limited, so they were like, let's just put these two together because we don't have enough time to get another storyline for either one of them. Like it just felt like when they put chaos together, it felt so out of left field. I was so confused. I was like, oh, we're doing this? I thought we were done. I thought we had decided this was not a good idea, that nobody wanted this. But then they did it, and I was like, well, I guess. Until they're ready to do something else with them, it always felt like a holdover for future storylines.
And
So
I
this
feel
is,
like most people have always felt that way.
yeah, there's like a very small fraction of people who actually like the couple. So it definitely feels way more about disliking Jocelyn than it is, and maybe like liking Cameron or liking Liz, and then therefore liking Cameron, because there's all the feelings that people project on people's kids. That's very, it's an intergenerational story. It happens. But I don't really like Joss and Dex, but it's not offensive to me, besides the fact that I didn't think the show needed another white man. But it's happening, so I'm not losing any sleep over it. And in
Yeah.
fact, I like there being some drama between Cameron and Jocelyn. And no, I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I think that that's interesting because I mean, I think that Dex and Jocelyn have a very good chemistry. I think the actors have like very good chemistry. I don't particularly find Dex to be exciting. I don't, um, yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're not they are a couple who I could see the show needs or would want or like whatever. They're not like I'm not like hashtag whatever their hashtag is, right? But I like Joss. like, and I'm not like you said, I'm not offended by them. I also like there's a very kind of weird thing that happens. They're not in competition with other characters or like other storylines. Like there's not like if you like Dex and Joss, like you can't like Sprina, or if you like Sprina, you can't like them. They're very independent stories of each other. Um, and they're built to be very independent stories of each other. Sprina, I think, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that they're dynamic, but even before we saw them together, we were talking about like this legacy beloved character of Spencer coming back to be with this like new heroine who we all grew to love in Trina. And then they came together and it was like really magical and they were like a great couple. That's not the story of Dex and Joss. And so I don't see any competition between those couples by any means. I think that they both should exist on the show because that's the young adult scene. So why wouldn't they all exist? Y'all are so quiet.
I mean, what else is there to say about it? I
Yes.
also am like, I think you're being very diplomatic in that, like, I don't actually, I mean, I doubt that most people see these couples in opposition to each other. It's like a certain loud faction online.
I think that's very true. And I think that there's also yeah, I think that's very true. And then the last thing I'll say is the other thing I'm not here for is this quiet rehabilitation of Esme that
I,
I'm like popping I'm seeing happen.
how are you seeing her rehabilitated?
Like it's the very like subtle things like she didn't hurt Liz. And she couldn't believe that anybody would think she would hurt Liz. You know what I'm saying? She would have killed Oz Haggerty. Like that's what she was setting up to drug him and kill him. And so like she's like, of course I'm not the hook. I could never be. No, you just circumstances mean that you're not this. It's not that you could never be. And this is also another like situation where the writers have set up like a character in a storyline just to do it, to like take it as far as you can take it, to make it soapy or whatever. without like considering any consequences and then trying to walk it back for a character like it didn't happen. So like that, I think the whole like having her like be pregnant and locked up in a tower and throwing temper tantrums, like trying to show her as being like younger. I think that we're gonna see Ryan play a factor in like feeling like she's being manipulated. I mean, I think that some of us have called this out anyway. And then the actress, and this is nothing against Avery. I like Avery. I think that she's a great actress. Has talked a lot about she did like a Q&A, and somebody asked a question on her Instagram. Somebody asked a question about like what was the hardest scene to shoot. And she was like, oh, the scene where her and Spencer Nicholas Chavez were like yelling at each other. That was like really emotional for them. She's like, because these two characters did care for each other and did like at one point love each other. And I was like, because I thought that what we had like all understood is that she was put in place to manipulate Spencer. So now we're very quietly, and I'm not saying, I mean, sure for Avery's process, she had to like believe that there was some love there, but like it's just like too many little sprinklings happening that I'm like, I'm not here for like a quiet rehabilitation of the Esme character. I'm good on that. Thank you.
Yeah. I would say if she had had any other kind of like storyline, it would be not a big deal, right? Like if her storyline hadn't been about targeting Trina and doing what she did to Joss and Cam, like I would be more amenable to like a rehabilitation storyline for her, just like it happens all the times in soaps, but because of the nature of the storyline, it's not appropriate. I will say, I think one of the best things Avery has said about storyline she would like to play a classic soap trope. I think this might have been from Soap Opera Digest, maybe like a week before last or something, but she said, I want a twin.
I was
Yes.
just gonna say that. I was like, the only way they could keep her really is to have her play a twin, which isn't off the wall because I mean she's the daughter of a twin, and sometimes
Yeah.
they meet.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you still get the conflict of her being Ryan's daughter and whoever else crazy person is gonna be her mom, who's
Right.
probably actually the hook, I'm assuming. That's
Ooh.
my theory.
Okay.
Um,
You better theorize.
It's a good theory.
um, the things that pop up when your brain doesn't get polluted by soap Twitter commentary.
Tell me about this magical land.
I'm like, I'm not so stressed out by seeing the horrifying commentary that like I can actually have generative thoughts. It's amazing. Although I did, I have been popping in more this week just because I've been, watching Twitter just
Collapse.
collapse, and that's been a joy. So I did see some takes where I was just like, yikes, but moving on. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
is it my turn to talk about what's not working?
Sorry, I just talked forever. I'm just like talking
Yeah.
over here. I missed y'all. I just like, let me tell you all of my thoughts.
Let's see. The top thing that's not working for me, Nicholas Cassadine is still alive. How dare they?
It's very offensive.
What's happening here? Contract up. Let's keep it moving. It's sweeps. Sweep me. I won't talk shit. I will hold to it. I already promised I wouldn't talk shit for a whole month. If you would just kill this man. I don't remember when I promised it, but I know I promised it sometime this year when we started the countdown to the fall. So I did not appreciate being teased with him being attacked by the hook and then him not dying and not even being gravely injured. This better be a red herring. And the red herring is that he was gonna survive. And the truth is he died. He's dead. The end. I wrote the end of November sweeps for y'all. It's not too late to go back and film things. I also just keep seeing like behind the scenes shit with Marcus in it, and I'm like, still alive, huh?
He had like, didn't he do like something with Avery and Taviana?
Gabiana. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And of course they were the interesting part of it.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just like really not working for me. The other thing that's not working for me is my child still being incarcerated. I mean, Tracy, you talked about this earlier.
Right.
I've enjoyed the suffering, and I will still take suffering in other ways. But this, I just every time I look at the spoilers, I'm like, so it's not even like where's Sprina. I mean, I do feel that obviously, but I'm really like, where's the spoilers that indicate my child is out of prison? Because also I'm like, Sprina's not getting together while he's in prison. So step one,
No
get
kissing on Monday.
prison. And then they're gonna have a whole like whatever, like rebuilding their relationship, what have you. But step one, free Spencer and his uncle. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am not interested in seeing Spencer. Suffering to me means like a little bit saltiness and like a little bit of petulance. Not seeing him like getting the life sucked out of him and being treated and thinking no one cares about him. That is just like we've already done it. It's been done. It actually doesn't need to like continue to happen. Like why are we continuing to see him suffer in this way?
He could be suffering in Port Charles. Free.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan of
Suffering
it.
right along Trina as she suffers through her boring ass relationship.
Cause Trina, baby girl, oh, she's like when she was talking to Cam, she's like, me and Rory are friends.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna transition us into hot takes because I really want to talk about that scene.
Yes, tell us.
If it weren't for like Vanna on the run and like all this like Laura's return, all this other great stuff that happened this week, my scene would have been the comedy that was the Trina and Cam scenes. I was howling. I was laughing my ass off. That was comedy.
Yeah, I mean her trying to be like, yeah, you and Joss are great.
It was Scott's level. I was like, ooh.
The parallels, especially like when okay, first of all, Cam being like, I think it's our friendship that really keeps us together, and Trina being like, yeah, Lauren and I are friends.
Baby girl, you don't even like him. Yo, like nothing he do. Like you don't like him. It's not even.
But it was like the yeah part because she's like, no, you're not working, but I'm gonna say yes to you now anyway. That was the funny part, and then throwing in the Rory like
yes,
like trying to justify that too.
When he was the one who brought up Rory first.
Yes,
comparing Chaos and Rowena, and Trina's face. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. We're the Chaos? Oh, yes. We are the Chaos couple. Oh
no. She's like, because I didn't talk to Joss, and I know that y'all ain't it. So
I know she doesn't like you. Do I like my?
And that answer is no.
And one of my favorite lines y'all are still together. I screamed, Tabiana, please. She's so funny.
Well, because one of the things that we did y'all watch Her State of Mind with Mo?
No.
I love her, but I
I was just like, no.
saw the promo and
The
I
promo
said,
was
let
bad.
me not especially watch this before Sunday shift because if she enjoyed it, then I don't want to say anything to ruin what was an enjoyable experience for her.
She did great. She talked mostly about herself. She talked about racism that she's faced because she's from San Antonio. It was interesting because Mo talked about like being like targeted by police. Was like, but I'm not anti-police. It was like, so that was a little comedic. But then I would say they talked maybe the last 6 minutes of like 30 something minutes about GH. So it was mostly just about her. And I brought that up because she used to do stand-up comedy.
What?
Yeah, that's why she's so funny.
Oh.
I think I
Like,
knew that.
yeah, I think maybe I had seen her talk about it, but I didn't realize it was like, no, she did stand-up comedy. Um, so yeah, that's why she's such like she's so funny. And that's what I really love that they have let her bring that to Trina. And so she also talked about she talked about like how uh like be Frank has really believed in her and like it's really important for her to be in the show, especially people who look like her. And then Mo went on this thing like, yes, I have a lot of black fans and African American fans. And he's noticed that there were African Americans like on the show basically until Frank. And I was like, okay. But anyway, they love Frank. And it's
There
funny.
weren't any characters on the show until Frank. Is that what he said? That he noticed? Because he was there when Homegirl with Jason, right?
I
And the
mean,
quartermain,
Justice was his
Black quartermain
lawyer.
Justice. Yeah.
Taggart.
Haggard. There weren't any. Oh,
Anyway,
I can't. This is
I
the this
I
is beyond
actually
my I can't.
I actually think that what he was trying to do was throw some shade at Ron because during like Ron's time, I think that there wasn't a lot of black people. Even though there was Sean Butler, I don't know.
Right.
I actually don't know what he was doing, but he was talking about like there being a black family and how that's important now. Whatever. But he talked about that, and then they talked about. He said that Sprina and kind of like the hype around Sprina reminded him of Sunny and Brenda, like the hype around Sunny and Brenda. Yeah, but it was a good interview. She was great. She was great.
I would
Let me
expect
stop.
that.
No. She was great in the interview.
Yes, I was about to say I would expect nothing less from her.
Yeah, she was
I'm
great.
happy for her.
And it was like really great that she like shared everything and but it was also really cool. I hated, and then I won't say anything more about it. It was like I hated the way the promo was worded, like Sprina and Spencer, and then but Tabiana goes deep, and I was like, I still wish that she was able to like build up herself in like the character of Trina, like her Trina, separate from Spencer and Sprina. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with like the paternity story and all the other stuff. It's one of the reasons I really like the Trina Joss friendship. Because like the romance is like very important and like that's what we remember of people. And she's a full character and a really interesting character and one I've loved and I loved before Spencer came back. And I loved Sprina on paper. So I certainly love Sprina in action with the two very talented actors who are playing them. But I would love for Tabiana to also be able to be mentioned without having because Spencer is able to be mentioned without Sprina. Like he's like Laura's grandchild and like all of these things. Um, and I want Tatiana to be able to have that same kind of, and Trina to have that same kind of like impact.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I started to do like a little bit of a rewatch of the later part of the sex tape arc,
Mm,
but like a fast forward rewatch, And it's unfortunate that like it's really hard to watch a lot of Tabiana's scenes because of the content. So much of it is about her being worried about going to prison.
yeah,
And she's amazing, but I'm like, I can't watch this again.
yeah.
And so what ends up happening in my rewatch is that I'm rewatching a lot of Spencer scenes. Because all of her scenes are about her worrying about going to prison or being with Rory or talking about Rory. And so it's to the point where I'm like, damn, I'll even take Sprina. Like I want her to have separate from Sprina, but I'm like, damn, I'll even just take the Sprina at this point just so I have something to watch that
Yeah,
feels watchable. It's not fair to her.
it's
And
not.
she deserves to be in scenes with Nicholas because she deserves that kind of scene partner.
Agreed.
And when they are in scenes together, they don't waste a beat. So
Hmm.
I'm tired of it. Give
Hmm.
us give us the spree. I don't even need Sprina to be together right now. I just need the build, for God's sakes.
Right. I mean, because that's what we thought we were gonna see. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll just keep harping on it. Whatever. Is that when Spencer was like sentenced to do restitution at the gallery? That's what we thought we were going to be seeing. We thought we were going to be seeing, if she was going to be with Rory, we thought we would see scenes where he was like coming in and seeing like being uncomfortable because of how close the two of them were. And especially because Rory was always so clearly an obstacle to Sprina. Why did we pretend like basically his purpose should have been for them to witness Sprina, for Spencer to witness their relationship. That I really didn't need to see or think of them in any other way, especially if they weren't going to build Rory. So I don't know. I don't think y'all watch Days, but if you look at like Days of Our Lives, give me this, indulge me for a second. Eric, who used to be, Greg Vaughn used to be Lucky, um, came back and it was like clear that he was going to be with Nicole. No one ever thought he wasn't going to be with Nicole. But they brought in Jada, who ended up being like a dynamic character on her own to kind of be a spoiler. And like they did, like Jada was built out, she was interesting, she had good scene partners, she had good scenes. Um, it feels like they are invested in Jada beyond Eric and Nicole. And if they were gonna do if Rowena was gonna be, that's how they should have done Rowena. They should have like done better by Rory to do better by Trina. And if they weren't, then it should have just been like a little basic relationship where it was all only for Spencer to see her with him, or to like happen upon Kelly's to go visit Cam and seeing them together, that kind of thing. But because they tried to pretend like it was more, it ended up just like backfiring and being unfortunate for Tabiana.
Yeah, it's just not paced very well. Like it's like a lot of seeing them have kind of the same conversation over and over again because I don't even feel like they're trying to make us believe that this is a real relationship.
Right.
But they're just like paced it so poorly with like it just nothing can happen while Spencer's in prison. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that my child Nicholas Chavez got himself a really nice long vacation. I'm so glad that he got to travel the world. He deserves it. But I was not expecting like a Jeannie Francis level of vacation, okay? Come back home. Right? Come back home. I'm gonna shave that beard off.
Right. And the struggle
Well,
mustache.
it feels like the beard is at least trimmed a little bit in the scenes with Tatiana. It's not as bad as it had been. It's not as patchy.
They
Oh
were
my
like,
god, I felt like that mustache could just rip off because that would look so weird.
it's the cheek patches that I can't.
He's
No, the
kind of looks like dirt.
mustache. It's all struggle.
Like I like itching to just go and be like, just take it off. Like it ain't real.
A little something on your oh.
Oh.
And I'm not picking on him. This is how I would talk about any man's facial hair.
No, I'm picking on him. That mustache was struggle. I love you though, Nicholas, but no.
We clearly love Nicholas Chavez. Like no one would ever accuse us of not. um,
Because there's some, especially black men, who got the mustache beard thing going on and it's hot as hell. But you're not there yet. Maybe when you're like
And
like
some
when you're
people,
like in your 30s and 40s, that's when they the men really get their beard thing going on and it's looking hot as hell, but not
you
there.
know what? Some of them never get it. And it's okay. Just keep shaving. All
Yeah,
right.
it's okay.
I've given this advice to many men in my life. I mean, not that there are that many men in my life, but maybe it's because I always criticize their facial hair.
Other hot takes. I have many.
I have 3.
Okay. One that I had, Cameron had me cracking up when he basically told Liz about Jocelyn spending the night before he told her that a serial killer was after them. He was like,
oh, by the way, we got a serial killer too.
By the way, serial killer targeting me, Sunny's men outside.
Yeah.
No biggie.
Why did she didn't see the men outside? I don't know.
Well, because the men didn't see Heather Weber come up in
Apparently.
Ellie's, or didn't see Dex stumble towards Joss.
Like these security men are failing.
They are the Sona of security guards. Go ahead, Tanya.
I'll go with my one. Let me see. I'm hella mad that the one person who is able to defend himself against the hooker is our weakest link on the show.
Oof.
And maybe see, I don't know. I think they were kind of trying to set it up as that hooker attack wasn't necessarily the real hooker, but in either case, everybody else who were perfectly capable of defending themselves were not able to defend themselves. But Nicholas got to go in the whole fight and he escaped it. And so I'm mad.
And apparently the hooks are from Windermere.
Right.
Or at least the hooker just like picks up random hooks.
Yeah, because the
wherever they are.
The original hook was from Quartermain Mansion, boathouse, whatever.
I love that people know who their hook provider is. People.
This is one of my hooks. I don't even know what those hooks are for, but okay.
Sandra, you have any?
Ava looked amazing.
Always.
I noticed Ava is the MILF of my dreams. And I don't remember why I said that. I think it was the whatever look she had going on at the Port Charles Grill. When she was
great.
Having drinks with Nina, and Nina just took off to go harass Willow somewhere.
And they came back.
They love to like harass dying women on this show.
Yeah.
Anyway, that wasn't what I was going to be talking about. But this Viva Chem, let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's happening. I'm calling it. I'm speaking it into existence. Viva is happening because and we know that this is true, Ava has to be with someone awful, apparently. That is one of the rules of the show. Ava has to be with someone awful, and if she's not with someone awful, they have to like fuck her daughter. So you know, if she's gonna have to be with someone who is like a bad person, let it be Victor. Let it be charming, smart, actually strategic, actually effective at being a villain, actually like captivating and charismatic Victor. Let it be with actually a good actor, Charles Shaughnessy. If we're gonna like put Ava through it, let's at least like put her through it. Okay? Because this, Nicholas Cassadine still being alive, Ava still trying to save this marriage. Give me Viva. And by give it to me, I mean it's already happening. It's right there. It's right in front of you. You just have to reach out and grab it. I believe in you. You can do it. Fierce, power, intention, set, go. That's the only hot take I have. Oh, I have one more, but we'll go through the rotation.
I loved it. Um, I had a bunch of Sona related ones, so let me try to put them together.
How do you still have things left to say about Sona?
Because I hate it. I hate them so much. One of it is I really hate everything about every Sona interaction. I said, what I said was the Sona Michael feud has gone on for far too long with no stakes. And I think that might, I think that might be the last one. That's the only thing that's important. It's gone on far too long and it has no stakes. It's over. It's stupid. Let's move on.
Right. I think that the feud is just a setup for Jocelyn and Dex, because that's the only useful thing that's coming out of it. Not that it's Jocelyn and Dex are useful, but I'm just saying that's the only stake in the story that we're seeing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the bone marrow. That's gonna be the stake.
Yeah, but I mean like the active feud, like the Michael trying to take him down and the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Y'all can have conflict, but the actual like Michael looked like a kid. Like when he was talking to Sunny in the park, he really looked like he wanted to be like, Dad, let's just get in the car. I want to get you away from this woman. Like he really did seem like he was just like, you don't understand how bad this woman is. Let's go.
Right.
Let's just end this. It's stupid. Michael has already taken over all the Corinthos coffee. Now there's nothing but Starbucks in Port Charles. Let's move on.
All that over roasted coffee. You know what? I hate Sunny, but I bet he does not over roast his coffee.
It's like he doesn't over roast his sauce. Go ahead, Tanya.
Let's see. Thursday, I was laughing out loud at Deanna, who ain't afraid of no cop. Not a good time, lady. Go away, come back, whatever. I loved her talking back to Jordan. It was great. Not letting her talk to Elizabeth.
Who?
The nurse.
Deanna, the nurse.
Oh,
She was talking to Jordan hella sideways. Like, no, you can't come in here. Like, this ain't a good time. Get out. I loved it.
This week, the nurse was nursing. Yes.
Yeah, she was nursing.
Of all the villains we had to bring back, why Olivia Jerome?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Ooh.
We actually are good. We're good on villains. We have Victor. We have Nicholas Cassadine. We have Cyrus. We have Austin's ugly cousin. We have Heather Weber. We have Esme. We have Ryan. We have Esme's mom, the hooker. Like, what else do we need?
Me
We
too.
have Sunny, we have Michael, we have Nina. We already have many villains. Some who maybe are a little controversial for me be calling a villain, and I don't care. But we certainly don't need Olivia Jerome. She's so annoying. Actress that plays her is a fucking MAGA.
Is she?
Isn't she?
Okay.
If she's not, I'm sorry I called you a MAGA.
Who's the
I'm
actor?
I can't remember what her name is.
I'm Googling.
Thank you. And I'm sorry if I slandered you. I've been drinking. But if you are a MAGA, I'm not sorry. I just don't like the character of Olivia Jerome.
Why would you?
I don't care for the acting. I don't care for the character. I don't really care about the Jeromes that aren't Ava. And I hate that like I hated the Olivia and Julian storyline where they like retconned Julian trying to kill Alexis and was like, it was Olivia the whole time. So it just like makes me even less inclined to enjoy an Olivia Jerome storyline. So, no, thank you.
I'm over here really trying to Google her. Well, here's the thing about Tanja Walker, aka Olivia Jerome. She has been in several things with Zac Efron.
Zac Efron?
Okay.
Really?
Let's see. Well, look, she is quote tweeting the Daily Caller. Okay, I'm gonna give one more hot take and then I'll keep looking. I'm gonna keep thinking. Um,
DM Jen, she'll know.
yes, that's true. There you go. I said we said this earlier, but Austin and Britt were the couple. It was a mistake to not put them together. It was a mistake. I don't understand why GH just fumbled it so hard. What was the purpose of fumbling it? Britt don't even look like she want to be friends with Cody. Like it looks ridiculous. Like Kelly looked like, okay, well, guess I'm getting out of here. Like it's just bad. She does not look like she likes him at even as a person.
I think she's still with GH. And so I don't know how long that storyline is going, but she's still there. Maybe she's doing part-time Grace and part-time GH, but
I don't know because I would have. I mean, I don't know how her character on Station 19 is long term myself,
yeah, I
but
don't think she's a long-term character.
but
Yeah, because
either
I thought she was done at Station 19.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it seemed like her arc was over, but maybe it'll come back up.
I didn't think she was gonna come back. Who knows? But my point is, she don't even look like she because at least with like, for example, Roger and Kristen, like they don't have chemistry, but they look like they like each other as people.
Yeah.
Kelly looked like oh boy, like can't believe they're making me do this bullshit.
And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either. It like Brent and Roger was a couple. They fumbled that bag. That's my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I loved their scenes together. It was good to see her have that disclosure moment with like an actor who could hold the nuance of it. And it was just good to see him in a more complex scene because when he's with Maxie, it's just because it's so forced, it's just not believable. It's like all this energy going into making this connection seem believable that there's like not even any other layers it feels like to play. So it just felt like we got to see more layers played between both of them.
Like
And
there's some
yeah,
slight comedy with Georgie, but it's more Georgie's part.
right. He just has to sit there and be like, I guess I can't talk shit to this little kid, huh?
Right. Please be nice to me, you know. I don't know. I have one around Dante. Everybody wants a piece of Dante, even Heather Weber, because he's hot. So I noticed that. I was like, I don't blame you, Heather. Flirt with the man. So yeah, that's my last one.
Yeah. I liked those Dante and Heather scenes. I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I think he treated her well.
I also like how like he's just like, now we're not really trying to catch Anna, are we?
Right.
Yeah.
Like Anna is not the dangerous one, right? She's not.
I guess we're just pretending to try to find Anna, right? Because
Right.
even if we try to find Anna, we're not gonna find Anna.
He's
Right.
like, we're looking for Anna.
Like
Wink.
he would not even do that for his father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No.
I'm like, yes, let's go after Sonny because he needs to get off the streets. You want me to
Yeah.
run? I will do it. Give
But
me
like Anna, he's like, oh no.
No. Poor Dante. He was just like, Dad, I'll take you out for hatchet throwing since Michael doesn't like you. Like, it
Right.
was-
And you don't have any
I will take care of you because nobody else likes you right now.
the only friend you had was Ghost Lady who came back and told you to like leave your family and cheat on your wife.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Oh, where's Phyllis?
Phyllis got away. Phyllis was like, get me out of this bullshit.
That's why she was like, let me re-promote Christina because these white people will not let me rest.
They're crazy.
Phyllis is not having it. She hates it. Yeah. I think that might be. There was other things I laughed. Oh, when Michael asked Sonny if he was when Sonny asked Michael if he was wearing a wire, I did laugh.
Me too. I was like, oh, you mean like Brenda?
I know. I was like, Sonny got PTSD from his friends and family and loved ones wearing wires.
Right.
But I also loved for Vanna on the Run when they were like having their banter, and Anna was talking to him like they were in the car, and Valentine was like, "I'm good at this stuff." No, she was like, "That's a good strategy." He was like, "Thank you." He's like, "I'm good at this stuff." Like, I was like, they're just so funny and so cute, and I just want.
Oh yeah, because and then she was like, wow, like
you're not humble at all.
okay. He's like, no, because I'm good at it.
He's like,
I'm good at spine mancing, okay?
And you like it. And she does.
Now put on those fin glasses.
Now put on those fin glasses and I'll put on your ring and we'll get this cracking. That's the other thing one of the things that I do see on the timeline is when Fanola tweets, and I just appreciate how much her and JPS love this. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Vanna brought back grown sex to like the soaps or something," and so both of them tweet about being grown, which I love.
That's right. Love it.
So, what do we have to, I don't know, look forward to?
You know how I feel about that phrase. Yeah.
What's happening next week?
Thank you. Well, the worst part of it, every time I look at the spoilers and I see Nicholas Cassadine's name, I'm upset.
In jail.
Because it means he's still alive. So
I forgot to tell you that I'm shipping Niz.
don't know what to say to that.
For people who only listen, I wish you could see both Tanya and Sandra's faces to that news.
I only ship this Nicholas with Death. One
I would ship her.
true pairing.
I would ship Niz if it was Tyler, but this no.
I wouldn't ship it, but I would not be as disgusted.
I ship the idea of Victor holding Tyler Christopher hostage and saying, "Okay, the clone you is messing up. Let's bring you back."
I'm sorry I derailed us. Tell us more about what Nicholas Cassadine is doing.
Right.
God damn it, Tracy. All right. On Monday, Carly seeks an explanation from Liz. Curtis gets big news. I bet it's not that Trina's his daughter. Portia is relieved that Curtis did not find out that Trina is his daughter. Nicholas has to think on his feet. Surely that can't go well. And Alexis counsels Finn probably to stop being such a pathetic sad boy. Because also, I didn't say this earlier, but like, you spent all this time being like, we're in it together, Liz. There's nothing you could say that would ever drive me away. And then she says it. And what do? You fucking leave like a man.
Run and cry with your man pain.
Which is very much in character. Because we all know what you did to Anna Devane. You made her go on so many apology tours. Anyway, on Tuesday, Sunny introduces Nina to Brick. Brick better be shady. I'm going to be pissed. Like, because you know...
He has a crush on Carly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he better not. He better not. That is one of the few things he actually has in his characterization. So, come on. Drew offers assistance. I can't imagine what that would be. Like, what does he have to assist anyone with? Besides showing up to city council, like, meetings to hype up his new girlfriend. Liz demands answers from Nicholas. So there's your ship, Tracy. My God. Michael and Willow make a big decision. And Carly discovers Jocelyn's secret. On Wednesday, Drew makes a pitch. Michael is perplexed. Sunny confronts Brick. Oh, okay. Obviously, I'm just now reading the spoilers.
I was like, okay.
So maybe he is a little shady. Okay, I'm holding out. Carly advises Joss. Nick turns to a friend for help. He has friends?
Who's his friend?
I think Liz is his only friend, right?
That's what I thought.
You know, before Esme was his friend. Yeah, he doesn't have any friends. Anyway, it must be Liz because he doesn't have friends. Thursday, Liz goes out on a limb. Selena issues an invitation. Sasha marks a sad milestone. A mysterious figure approaches Felicia. I hope it's Lucy. Laura calls it like she sees it. Love it. And finally, Friday, Maxie gives Spinelli an ultimatum. Robert puts Holly on the spot. Laura meets with Victor. Mac opens up to Felicia. Cody's slip of the tongue gives Sam pause.
I wonder if what they ask Holly is, how you get a cell phone when you just washed up on shore?
She got it from the bar that Trina and Joss went to.
Full circle.
Full circle.
R.I.P.
She
Oz.
obviously didn't get to Oz because he's super dead.
Yeah, she had to go to
R.I.P.
another bar or
He's
bartender.
he's out in that, somehow top of my law class, and yet I'm selling cell phones at a bar. That place of heaven.
Student loan debt. GH
That-
taking positions on it. Ah,
Yet, still no indication that my child is out of prison, but we do know that we get Sprina on Monday.
Yeah.
So maybe there will be more Sprina that is unspoiled in November. We'll see. It's not looking like, I feel like Spencer's gonna get out for the holidays. Like for Christmas.
Speaking of Sprina event on Sunday.
that's right. That is right.
That will be happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Following up.
Nodding at each other. It's late, y'all. We gotta go.
It is late. It is late. And we do love Sprina, so don't take that as us not loving Sprina.
Right.
It's been an honor and a privilege. I'm gonna post this obviously on Twitter until Twitter is no more.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Elon Musk fucking it up for everybody.
We could go at any moment.
Really can't. That man is an idiot. But we will still upload no matter what happens on YouTube. Also anywhere that you get your audio podcast. And I'm gonna start posting more on Instagram. So find us there. I love these faces. Anyway, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.